Okay, let's get started. Very warm welcome, everybody, on a Sunday afternoon. Glad you guys could make time for this session. It's going to be a very interesting one. Today, we have a repeat, by backed by popular demand session on uh, if you are an aspiring digital marketer. What are some of the top questions on your mind? It's a free, open, ask me anything kind of a session where we will be covering questions uh, ranging from different roles and responsibilities in digital marketing, all the way to how do you prepare for one and what kind of a career growth you can expect in this very exciting domain. Uh, Without further ado, I'll get into the agenda for the day. We will be covering, after I introduce our esteemed speaker today, like I said, these are some of the broad topics that we will be covering. Uh, Especially focusing on people who want to transition into this domain. Either you guys have just recently graduated or also have a little bit of experience in the industry, whether it is sales or copywriting or graphic design, and switch in digital marketing as a career. So that's the agenda for the day. We will take questions. Please start putting your questions on the chat box, and we will pick them up as and when we are covering that particular topic. And also at the end of the session, anything that isn't missed out, I'll try and cover them as well. Uh, in the meanwhile, request you all to stay on mute. Do turn on your videos though. Dheeraj has requested everyone to turn on their cameras so that it's a more engaging session. Uh, and if you guys have a question, please put it in the chat box. All right. Uh, so welcome, a very, very warm welcome to Dheeraj Thukral. He is the speaker on our session today. A little bit about Dheeraj. He's a very passionate digital marketer with more than 6 years of experience across a variety of subdomains within digital marketing. Uh, Interesting thing is he's worked on multiple sides of the table, right? What I mean by that is he's worked with brand agencies, which run digital marketing projects and campaigns for different brands. So he's worked at entities like the Brand B and Envigo. He's also worked at B2C or business to consumer startups like SafeMetrip and currently at Edu91, and also has exposure by working on the B2B side at Quantify. Uh, like I said, Dheeraj is a full stack digital marketer, folks. He has donned many hats: strategist, designer, account manager, and of course, as a marketer. Uh, his passion lies in solving complex marketing problems. He brings with him a deep interest in consumer or customer psychology and behavior, especially in this new digital era. Uh, Dheeraj is a class of 2020 from the Indian School of Business and also has a BBA from BitMestra, and also a graduate from the Digital Marketing Institute at Ireland. So a lot of uh, strong pedigree backed with really good experience. So welcome, Dheeraj. We're glad to have you here.
Thank you, Ram. Thank you. It's my pleasure to be back again. I was not expecting, a repeat session, but I think last time the response was really good, and I hope that I, answer as many questions as possible in the limited time that we have.
Definitely. All right, guys. So let's get started. I will start with some questions. In the meanwhile, I'll start picking up questions from the audience as well. Uh, cool. So Dheeraj, if I had to start this conversation, right, within digital marketing, how has this industry evolved over the years? Um, where do you see it? Where was it 5 years back? Where is it now? And what do you see happening in the next 2 years? Guys, request you to please stay on mute.
All right. Yeah. So just about 5 years back, 10 years back, we did not have, I don't know if you guys remember, but around 10 years back, the maximum internet speed that I had was 10 Mbps, 5 Mbps, 4 Mbps. And we did not have any concept of 4G. We did not even have 3G working properly. We were stuck around 2G and Basically, digital was just growing and it was in a very nascent stage. It was like a baby trying to, crawl. I won't even say walk. It was trying to crawl in a massive country like India, where we have a population of 1.2 billion people and 650 million mobile users as of today. So obviously, when we talk about digital marketing channels like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, they were very hesitant in investing in India. Very, 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 very hesitant, because we did not have the right infrastructure. We did not have the right kind of talent. We did not have the right attitude and approach towards digital in general. Right. So people were getting used to, they were buying a lot of laptops. Smartphones were just recently launched, and everybody, the craze was there, but it was still not as evolved as we have today. So that's why anything that you used to do 10 years back, let's say you make a video on YouTube, it was sure to get views. 100% it would get views. Granted, मतलब गंदे से गंदा video बना दो. You make, you don't have a tripod, don't have lighting, doesn't matter. You make a video, upload it. Because the internet connection speeds were so poor, you will start registering views because the competition was very less. Hardly any creators were there. Even the most popular creators that we know right now on YouTube, Carrie Minati, Ashish Chanchalani, all these people, they started their career from 2015, 2016. So even so, you can say that digital marketing was, in fact, it came in its original form 5 years back. We are looking at an industry which is brand new. It's shining, right? But the good thing, or probably I would say both, two sides of the same coin. A lot of people entered, which also resulted in a lot of competition.
Right.
Now everybody knows that if you want to promote your brand, you have to go to YouTube. Everybody knows that if you want to get a job, you have to go to LinkedIn. Everybody knows that if you want to, run ads, you have to go to Facebook. There is nothing new. A lot of people, lot of creators on YouTube are trying to tell you that there is a lot of things which are new in this. There is nothing new. The fundamentals, the ecosystem, the way people behave and interact with you, the trust building process, everything is same as it was 5 years back. But what has changed is, how are you able to communicate? Now, a lot of people are insisting on that. I need to learn Facebook ads. I need to learn Google ads. I need to learn LinkedIn ads. I need to learn this. And the entire emphasis has been focused on tools. Wrong approach. Instead, nobody talks about ideas. Nobody talks about creativity. Nobody talks about video editing, for that matter. Nobody talks about the soft skills part of it. Everybody wants to go and learn the hard skills. But if you are only learning hard skills, it is pretty much useless, because what's the point of learning it if you're not able to create banners, or if you're not able to make videos, or if you're not able to convince people? No matter how good a website you make in today's time, if it is not delivering the right message, if it is not giving you the right impression, if it is not solving a particular problem, you are just wasting your money. And that is what most of the people are doing these days. 90% of the people, they start digital marketing with a lot of enthusiasm. 1 year later, they realize it's not for them. They quit it. I have seen it happening with my own eyes. So this is how the industry has changed. The tools are the same. Maybe some evolvements have happened. Some advanced features have come into place. But the basic fundamentals of digital marketing are the same. In fact, you now have more opportunity, because more and more people are getting mobile phones in their hands. More and more people are buying laptops. More and more people are buying iPads and desktops and all these things. The demand is only going to go up. It's not going to go down. But with the rising demand, there is also a component of rising competition. And with rising competition, you have to be smart enough in capturing users' attention, and how you can utilize that into sales or leads or business actions. Basically, that's the biggest challenge. The biggest challenge is not to learn tools. In fact, learning tools is not even a challenge anymore. There is umpteen amount of information available, right? So that is how I believe it has changed.
Well, that's a very interesting point. And basically, you're saying that while things have evolved significantly, it also has led to us going back to our, in some sense, the foundations of knowing how to reach our target audience in a more innovative way, right? Even though there are multiple tools on one side, which is more or less a hygiene factor now to know, but it's the fundamentals and the the approach with which we reach out to this new audience is what is equally, or if not more important now.
Correct.
Got it. It's interesting time to run a poll, I think, Neeraj.
Yep.
So guys, I am going to start a poll. You will see a pop-up on your screen. Take a few seconds, not a very simple poll on, you'll see the questions. It's not difficult. Take a few seconds and give your answers. Here we go. Okay, question is, how many likes are given on Facebook every minute? Okay, last few seconds, guys. All right, we got almost everybody has voted. 85% have voted. Couple of seconds, and then we can see the results. And then Dheeraj, let us know your thoughts.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, 34% of the audience says this is what, 10 million or
Yeah, 10 million. Yeah.
Likes every minute. Well, the right answer, I mean, it will get there, I guess.
Eventually it will.
Yes. So the right answer, guys, is 4 million plus as of today. So this itself shows the power of, how to engage with your audience, right?
Right. I don't know if you guys have, how many of you like browse Facebook on a regular basis? Have you noticed any shift from Facebook to probably, let's say, Instagram and then back to Facebook again? I have seen this shift where I was on Facebook and suddenly Instagram came along. Instagram became very popular. Then I went back to Instagram, but now suddenly I'm being pulled back on Facebook because there are some features like short videos and gaming and streaming and marketplace and a lot of these things. Facebook actually wants people to come back to Facebook instead of going to Instagram. Right. So I don't know if you guys have probably experienced this yourself. I have experienced this. I'm now spending more time on Facebook. Initially, let's say till about last year, I was spending more time on Instagram, but Facebook will remain the core. I mean, there is no question about whether Instagram will overtake Facebook one day. I highly doubt that, because Instagram ultimately was an acquired company. Facebook is the brainchild of Facebook itself. So there is no way that they're going to give so many features to Instagram that they leave Facebook behind anyway. So yeah, 40 lakhs is the answer.
Correct. Cool. So we have some good questions coming in. So Shubham has a question. I have more than 9 years of sales and marketing experience. I have looked into social media campaigns too, but how should I enhance my portfolio?
Okay. 9 years of sales and marketing experience. He has looked into social media campaigns, how to enhance his portfolio. Okay, Shubham, see, I think a lot of times what people do is they think that now that they have experience, the only thing that they need to be working on is portfolio. कि मेरा portfolio होगा, so the leads will come back to me automatically. That it's not how it works anymore. It's not how it works anymore. See, the essence of marketing, अगर आपको सच में marketing में घुसना है, if you really want to be inside marketing, you always have to talk, be vocal. And the best place to be vocal is LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube. 3 places where the more you talk, the more you create content, the more you engage, automatically leads will come. In my experience, see, I have about 5 years of experience, but when I was starting, I had 0 years of experience, but I was still getting freelance clients. Why? Because see, it's not just about portfolio anymore. Even portfolios are in such high competition that it is difficult for any client to say and analyze, okay, ki, theek hai, matlab, this guy is also doing the same stuff, that guy is also doing the same stuff. I told you, right? High competition. Your portfolio is not the differentiator anymore. You are. If you don't make videos on YouTube, if you don't talk to people and give them free gyan, if you don't communicate on a regular basis, if you don't have an audience base, if you don't have people who are looking up to you, if you don't regularly publish content on LinkedIn and get people to engage on it, or if you don't create videos on YouTube, if you don't attend virtual conferences, if you don't attend workshops, if you don't talk to people in your network, let's say your colleagues, if you can ask your colleagues if somebody in their family is looking for a digital marketing provider or something like that. If you're not proactive in all this, building a portfolio is not going to give you anything substantial, because portfolios have become outdated. Now personal branding is the way to go. You are the company, you are the brand. People are more likely to trust you. The fact that we have 80 people on this webinar came because of me. I never showed my portfolio. I only showed, okay, here's how I worked. But I never said that, you don't know about the quality of the work. You have just seen the credentials. But if you see my YouTube channel, if you engage and interact with me, even if I'm able to show you my post 3 times on LinkedIn, and if you really if you really begin trusting me, nobody is going to ask for your portfolio. They're just going to hire you anyway. I've had multiple instances where nobody asked for my portfolio. They said, we liked what you do, we understand what your intention is, just give us the portfolio, I mean, just give us the quotation, we'll start. So number of years of experience, of what brands you have worked on, what kind of results you have done. See, all these things according to Indian clients can be made up. I'm giving you very honest opinion. These things can be made up. People think that ye bana raha hai. There is not a single differentiating factor in these things anymore. Company ke decks log फेंक देते हैं यार उठा के, कोई नहीं देखता. Everybody is looking for person. Everybody is looking for how vocal you are. Everybody is looking at your personality. Everybody is looking at your content. Your content is your portfolio, is what I want to emphasize on. I hope I was able to answer this.
Got it. No, I think that's a very fair point. I think, I mean, especially in today's world where a lot of the jobs are anyways getting automated, right? And
Right.
especially in digital marketing where there is a certain creative element which is very important, showcasing your own creativity becomes a lot more important to succeed.
That's the biggest differentiator.
Correct.
No deck, no PPT, no PDF files, no free consultation calls. All those things are the things of the past. Like yesterday only, one of my posts hit 25,000 views, and there was this guy from California. He was working on a mobile app. He just contacted me and he said, I like your content, can we talk? I want to promote an app. No portfolio, nothing. He liked the content, he wanted to talk. Then it's up to you, how do you convince them? But it's important to get leads like this, because these kind of leads, they already come with a position of trust. For you to convert them, it becomes very easier. But to reach out to random people, cold calling, all these things, it becomes very difficult to convert them and get them on board.
Got it. Priya's question is on similar lines, but slightly different. She has 5+ years experience between business analyst, electrical profile, and project coordination. How digital marketing is beneficial for me, and of course, what salary I can expect, because in digital marketing, she will be considered as a fresher.
Right. If you have some sort of sales experience, some sort of even offline experience, you're not entirely a fresher for this field. Any kind of related or overlapping field, if you belong from that field, you're not a fresher. But if you don't have any, like for example, she says that I'm an electrical engineer, digital marketing folks are simply going to ignore that. For them, it's no experience, because electrical engineering, digital marketing, North Pole, South Pole, no match. So she's asking how it can help her. See, if you are just looking for jobs, I would say it's a myopic view, because jobs, it's very subjective to get a job. It's because it depends on your recruiter, it depends on your boss, it depends on the company, it depends on the kind of company you're joining, it depends on a whole lot of things, right?
Correct.
That is a myopic view in my sense, because this knowledge can give you results beyond a job. You need to be thinking. Now, I'm not trying to be that kind of YouTuber ki 1 lakh rupees kama loge. See, I don't have any substantial proof to give you, so I'm not going to give you all that fluff and nonsense that they promote on YouTube ki affiliate marketing kar lo, 1 lakh kama lo. Right? That is just to sell you their courses. That is just to push you their courses so that you buy, and then they just say tata bye bye, ho gaya mera, ab tum khud dekh lena. So giving you a practical, from a very practical standpoint, if you are able to really learn this knowledge and then apply it in your own brand, my only advice to people who ask questions like this is to apply it within your own brand. Your name is your brand. You can create a LinkedIn profile, you can start creating posts, you can start creating videos, you can start creating content on Facebook, you can open your own blog, you can write a lot of good articles over there. If you are consistent and persistent, opportunities will come your way like it had come in my case. If I were thinking that, okay, now I'm a graduate from Digital Marketing Institute and now I must get a job, otherwise I have no future, is again a myopic view. I was lucky that I was able to get a job, but even if I did not have a job, I would have utilized that knowledge and, you know, implemented it in building my own brand. That is why I opened Dheeraj Rakho channel. It has about 900 subscribers. Even though it has less number of subscribers, I have two influencer marketing agencies saying we still want to work with you. 900 subscribers means nothing in today's world, yet they are saying we want to work with you. Why? Because of those 900 people, I'm able to actually create that kind of content, create that kind of trust, that these influencer marketing agencies have seen it with their own eyes, and now they're saying even though he has less number of subscribers, we are still going to invest in him. And that's how it works, right? Numbers don't add up. I have 5,000 followers on LinkedIn, yet my number of views are very less. Still, I'm getting leads. Why? Because numbers, if you just look at numbers, you will never be able to create content. The whole point of learning digital marketing is A, to get a job, B, if you're unable to get a job, somehow utilize that knowledge to work in your favor. You can open a digital marketing agency, you can get freelance consultancy clients, you can open your channel on YouTube, start making revenue from there. You have brand deals, you have endorsements, you have merchandise, you have sponsorships. You can go to many different websites, B2B and B2C websites, and say that, hey, I can promote your brand for X% commission. That is affiliate marketing. There are multiple avenues, there are multiple channels, but you need to work on two things. Number one, being vocal all the time, keep sharing knowledge, keep communicating, keep creating content, never stop. Number two, invest in your personality, language skills, communication skills, video editing skills, soft skills. The moment you start to continually invest in yourself, the moment you start to continually create content, and the moment you start engaging with people on social media, audience will pour in, people will come automatically, they will start trusting you, they will start asking questions, they will start believing you as an expert in your field, and leads and sales will be your matlab baएं हाथ का खेल हो जाएगा. It won't be like such a big problem that we feel right now. That's how it has been in my case. I get a lot of leads on LinkedIn just because I keep making content. I don't do any outreach, I don't do any kind of cold calling, I don't call my friends and all that. When you're in a position of trust, people come automatically, they're ready to throw money at you, and you deliver results, you get more money. That's how it works.
Got it. I think we have a question from Ankush here. I am a content creator, and how can digital marketing help me in growing my business?
Content creation is a business in itself. Content creation की तो industry बन गई है अब. You guys have heard about Abhi and New? In 6 months, they were able to get 1 million followers, simply because, and none of their content is original. It is purely based on research. It is purely a repurposed content, but it is presented in such a way that it appears to, fascinate people and, bring people towards them. In 6 months, if I were to calculate their earnings, it would well exceed 50 lakhs minimum. I'm saying the kind of growth that they have experienced. And they have left their jobs full time. They're not working anywhere. Content creation is their business. They have two influencer marketing agencies, Monkey and one more agency. That brings them work to them. That brings work to them. They don't have to go anywhere. So content creation is a kind of industry which really tests you, tests your patience, tests your commitment, tests your expertise, tests your problem solving skills. And if you really keep investing time, keep making videos, keep making content, keep making blogs, keep writing articles over a period of time, and when I say over a period of time, I mean at least 1 year, you will find opportunities to monetize that content and leave your job. Although I won't promise that, but in many cases, I have seen people doing that. So content creation is an industry in itself, but it's a matter of extreme hard work, extreme patience, and a lot of re-engineering and a lot of learning and then unlearning and then continuing that feedback loop.
Got it. Let's take a quick, sense check. Time for another poll. This is something that Dheeraj had just talked about at the start of the session. So here we go. How many people in India will have a smartphone by 2021?
I think I already gave the answer.
Yeah. I'm
in
just
the very beginning.
Let's see whether people are listening to you or not.
Yeah.
All right, guys, 2 more seconds. Doesn't take too much time to click a button. All right, let's see the results.
Close,
yeah. So the answer is 700 million, and I think, yeah, so most of you have the answer. So it's a massive number, right? I mean, so digital as a medium is going to become, especially mobile as a medium, is going to become extremely important, whether you're a content creator or a digital marketer. All right, moving on. Somasri has a question. Sir, how web analytics is useful for digital marketing?
See, if digital marketing is a body, web analytics is the spine. It's the spinal cord. You see what's the point of running ads? What's the point of making content? What's the point of creating videos if you're not able to understand the numbers behind it? If you're not able to understand how many people have actually seen that content, how many people clicked on it, how many people went to the website, how many people spent at least 30 seconds, how many people watched a video, and then as a result of that, how many people signed up with you, and after that the journey continues, wherein you analyze your sales team performance, how many people were we able to get on board as a result of that. So it's a continuous feedback loop. It is super important not to be ignored in any cost. In fact, without web analytics, digital marketing is no different than advertising on TV or radio or newspaper, because one of the things which differentiates digital marketing is the fact that you can get data in real time. And when you are able to get that data in real time, you can make decisions that not only affects your revenue, but also affects your costs, that affects your salaries, that affects your entire business. So web analytics as a field in India is still evolving. I won't say that it's a very lucrative field, or should you really specialize in web analytics at the moment. I would say having a generalist approach is likely to give you more returns than having a specialist approach. Web analytics is indeed an important field, but just getting into web analytics is not going to give you the kind of growth that you're expecting. Not having the skill of web analytics is even worse. So you need to know how to read data on Google Analytics. You need to know how to read data on Hotjar. You need to know how to, how to tag your campaigns, and how to, all these kind of things you need to know. Otherwise, you will keep burning money on advertising. You will keep burning money and your time on creating videos, but you will always be in the dark whether or not your things are working or they are not working. And believe me, when that happens, people often quit digital marketing. One of the biggest reasons of quitting it is because they don't know how to read the data. They are very creative. They love, creating content, but they don't know the math behind it. They don't know what led to what. How did creating a video led to the ultimate result of getting a sale? They are not able to understand the entire process. And that is where 90%, I would say 80 to 90% people, one of the biggest reasons of quitting is the lack of this very important skill. So should you specialize in it? Definitely. Will it give you more jobs? No, it won't. Where will you find jobs in web analytics? Big digital marketing agencies. Anywhere else? No. Even in a little medium-sized digital marketing agencies, you can find a job, but it's then again, it means probably all day you will be crunching numbers on Excel and then reporting it. So you will probably get bored at the end of the day. That's why I said it's important to take a generalist approach, learn everything, learn creativity also, learn analysis also, and learn problem solving and logic also, that is when you will find yourself in a very fulfilling role. Otherwise, if you go to a very specific or a niche field for 2 years, you will find, say, yes, I'm an expert in it, but the third year you will find yourself locked in a field with no growth, prospective growth options. So a generalist approach is always more beneficial than a specialist approach, now that we are living in an era where 650 million people and more are adding up. So there is no way to go back or take the old way.
Correct. I think a slightly parallel, area of expertise. Shubdeep has a question, right? How web design is important for a digital marketer?
Super important. See, I'll give you a very practical answer to this. There are two aspects of digital marketing, two very, very core and very essential aspects. One is, how do people engage with your brand through visual mediums? For example, videos, creatives, banners, copies, scripts, sales copies, ads, all these things. See, that comes under the creative domain. Another domain is, how do people engage with your web properties? And as a result of that, how are you able to generate revenue? Now, if let's say your videos are superb, you have created exceptional content, you're getting a lot of views, you are driving a lot of traffic onto your website, people really trust you, people really want to buy your products, but the moment they land on your website, payment gateway is not working. The color scheme is something which really starts bugging people. There is no right amount of text written on the website. People are scared of making payment on your website. People are not able to find exactly what they're looking on your website. The UI or the user experience is not up to the mark. They have to scroll a lot. They have to find manually things. Website doesn't load up very fast. There are tons and tons of problem on your back end. So your front end is your video, your identity, your photos, your creatives, your banners. Your back end is your web property. Now, if your back end is not properly optimized, or if your back end is not properly developed, you will get zero revenue, zero. What's the point of making videos if you're not able to earn money out of it? Websites are the tools and modes through which you earn money. And any kind of, I would say, cutting corners when it comes to making websites actually costs business much more money than they generate through content marketing or social media or whatever. So extremely important field. I would say there is an acute shortage of talented web developers, because there are web developers just about everywhere. We have people doing MCA and BTech. They in their computer science curriculum, they learn web development, but they don't know how to properly visualize the brand identity, how to make websites that pleases people. They don't know about all this. So there is an acute shortage of talented people. But this space in general, if you're not that talented, it's very crowded. It's like engineering, because there is a web development company in any nook and corner of the country. मैं अभी नीचे जाऊंगा ना, मुझे 2 web developer मिल जाएंगे. That's how it is.
But Dheeraj, if I break it up into 2 parts, right? This is a question even I have. When you want to put up a nice website as part of your brand or for your client, I think of it as 2 components. One is the underlying tech, the coding required to create that property, and the second is the UI and the user experience on it, right? From a digital marketer's perspective, does he need to know both aspects, or
no?
Can he? Yeah, that's my question there.
No, from a digital marketing aspect, if you know coding, it's a plus, but it's not a requirement as such. But if you're able to give creative briefs to website developers, if you're able to give them an exact prototype of what is it that you want to create, if you're able to communicate that kind of user experience into words or on paper, that is the skill you want to have. Because for coding, there are websites like fiverr.com, freelancer.com, tons and tons of freelancing websites where you will find very affordable web development freelancers that will help you to visualize, actually execute that visualization into an actual product. So should you learn coding? Absolutely not. Should you learn how to read websites, how to find creative elements in the website? Should you know how a user is actually experiencing the website? Should you know more about design, typography, layout, color schemes, different technologies that help create websites easily? Definitely yes. But should you learn coding? No.
Right.
That is no point in learning coding.
And my follow-up to that is, at least I have noticed as an entrepreneur that there are a lot of these no code kind of softwares that come out,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Where if I understand the first aspect of what I want on the UI, UX, then as a marketeer, I can myself start pulling together these websites in a fairly short period of time.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Got it. Cool. Ashutosh has a question. I have zero experience in digital marketing. Where will I see myself in upcoming years?
Okay.
It's slightly open-ended, but
okay. I'm gonna answer it from two perspectives. Perspective number one, you have zero experience in digital marketing, but you want to learn it. Okay. Now, when I say learning it, there is just one thing that comes into your mind: course kar lo. See, course is important because किताब नहीं खोलोगे तो पता नहीं चलेगा what exactly is there. But 99.9% people, they do courses, then they do nothing about it. That's the problem. That's the whole problem that we are faced with. That is why we are, that is why we have come up with Antwork, which kind of addresses this deep rooted problem, wherein you are not just learning the things that are given to you on paper, but actually looking at what is happening behind the scenes, what led to what. The problem solving skills is absent from virtually all the courses. They don't teach you how to solve problems. They give you like a platter in which you can just see that, okay, this is how these things work, but they don't tell you what led for a thing to work and become successful at it. See, that's the whole problem. So if you I'll give you two options. If you want to learn digital marketing and if you have some money to invest, Antwork programs are pretty much perfect for you. If you don't have money, if you say that no, I don't want to spend too much money in learning digital marketing, then the only way that you can learn it is through doing it. How can you do it? See, it takes it involves 0 rupees to create a video on YouTube, 0 rupees to write a post on LinkedIn, 0 rupees to create a banner on Facebook. Most of the time, if you're able to create content, engage people, get feedback, work on the feedback, and then create better content and then get more people, my friend, you have mastered the art of digital marketing. That is the entire essence of digital marketing. Digital marketing means turning strangers into loyal fans. That's what it is. That's what it is. Ultimately, why are you learning this skill? Because you want to sell stuff. There is no point in learning SEO if you are not selling stuff. There is no point in learning PPC if you're not selling stuff. There is no point in learning how to blog if there is nobody who can come to your blog, get inspired, take action in the process, give you money. There is no point in learning these skills. So either you can join this program, where we will tell you exactly what you will get in this program. It involves a little bit of investment, but very easy investment, and it won't cost you a huge chunk of your salary. Second, if you want to go the hard route, you have to do it the way YouTube creators have done it. Constantly create content, consume all the free courses that you have on the internet, every single video, just watch it as much as you can. There are a lot of free stuff available on Udemy also, Skillshare also, YouTube also. Other people have created 6 hours, 7 hours worth of content, and then decide your way forward. If you are good with words, then it's a good idea to invest your time in blogging or LinkedIn or articles or Quora. If you feel that you can go beyond words, you have a natural or innate ability to influence people, you are not very shy on camera, or you think that you can invest your time on camera, go on YouTube and start creating content on YouTube. If you think that you can do both, then do both. This is what will differentiate you from 90% of other candidates. People who can write also, people who can record videos also. And then once you start creating content, the beauty of digital marketing is you start getting feedback. You will understand. I think there was one person who was asking that, how do I find my niche? Simple. Start. When you start, when people respond, if they like the video, good niche. If they don't like the video, bad niche. Go do something else. It's a continuously evolving process. You see, I don't have any kind of framework that I can give you on paper कि ये कर लो तो niche मिल जाएगी ना. ऐसा होता तो फिर मैं आज बहुत बड़ा marketer होता, मैं फिलिप कोटलर के बगल में बैठा होता. It's not how it works. It works when you start, then you get some feedback, you work on that feedback, then you get more feedback, then you get feedback, and then over a period of time you say that, okay, this is how I started and this is where I've come. It doesn't work by reading books, it doesn't work by watching videos, it doesn't work by watching big full length feature movies or documentaries on digital marketing. It only works when you work, no other way.
And it's an iterative process, guys.
It's an iterative
not
process,
like
absolutely.
you will not get your answer on day one. You will have to work hard at it. You try different things, you see what others are doing and try it yourself. Multiple things
And
you can try.
see,
and
most
then
of the
figure out
times
the answer.
people are also, people are very scared that my mother, when I asked her one day, I said, मम्मी आप भी YouTube channel खोलो ना. कहती नहीं उसके लिए तो बहुत सोचना पड़ेगा, लाइटिंग अच्छी करनी पड़ेगी, I will have to think about exactly what I want to. We plan too much.
Correct.
Too much planning, and when you plan too much you never execute.
Agreed.
Digital marketing is 100% execution, 100%. I'm not saying 0% planning. You plan, definitely you plan, but you cannot plan your first piece of content. वो नारियल फोड़ना है तो नारियल फोड़ना ही पड़ेगा. And you have to be बेशरम. A lot of people, they are very, they are very shy. What will people say? What will my boss say? What will my girlfriend say? What will my mother say? मत दिखाओ ना, block कर दो. I have blocked people who are giving me very negative feedback. Go on, block them. But if you're not creating content, or if you're not giving some kind of contribution on any social media platform because you feel that people are going to comment on it, guys, it's matlab, you are creating content in public domain. People are always going to comment. In one of my videos I got 17,000 18,000 views, very shabby video I made. I got 40% negative feedback. I did not delete them. Some people were excessively toxic, so I deleted them. But those negative comments don't bother me. In fact, any kind of engagement on social media is good engagement. It actually increases the reach of your video. So no matter if you're getting good comments or bad comments. I mean, Dhinchak Pooja, guys, 3 crore views, what nonsense. 90% dislikes. Still she is famous. Still she was able to get into Big Boss. Usko to sharam nahi aayi, humko sharam kyun aa rahi hai? So that is one another very major concern which stops people, pulls people away, and they want to get into extreme intricate planning, extreme strategizing. You won't be able to do that in your very first phase of digital marketing. It just doesn't work that way. Record, create content, get feedback, improve, and when you have some data, then you plan. You don't plan without data. You need some data.
Got it. I think Dheeraj, what we should do now is the next section we should focus on, for folks, because there's quite a lot of questions on the chat box which is asking about how do I go about preparing for this.
Sure. Yeah.
Some people are asking about should I do an online course right now because of pandemic? Is that a better way to do it? Some people are asking, should I do an internship, and so on, right? So in your mind, what are some things you would look at when somebody wants to upskill themselves in this domain, right? What should they focus on?
Okay. First of all, if anybody tells you that they are an expert, let's say I am an expert in PPC, I'm an expert in SEO. If they're saying it from their own mouth, if somebody is introducing them, it's fine. If they are admitting it from their own mouth, ki I'm an expert, don't trust that person, because that person is now does not want to learn anything new in their field. So how should you proceed? Learn from people who are already working for big companies, because these people are making big decisions. They know exactly what kind of problems that they are faced on a regular basis, and slightest of their actions will lead to a considerable impact on the revenue. Like, for example, on Antwork, we have experts from Netflix, from Google, from Facebook, from all these big companies, and from Unilever, from Puma. These people, I can't tell you how much stress they go through every day navigating through their job, because they are not dealing in small 50,000 rupees, 1 lakh rupees campaigns. Their per day spends are 10 lakh, 15 lakh, 25 lakh per day. So you can imagine the amount of work, analysis, research, problem solving, critical thinking, all these things that they have to do just to survive in their job. So it is much better to learn from people who are actually solving real world problems than people who are proclaiming on YouTube that I'm an expert. Because the moment somebody admits that they're an expert, it means that they are not going to invest more time in learning. Because Facebook ads, there was one very critical change that happened on Facebook ads, wherein all the events that were being passed on to iOS 14 stopped. I asked one so-called Facebook expert, I said, how are you going to manage it? It said, what is that? I don't even know that. He's an expert. He calls himself an expert. So stop trusting these people. Stop trusting people on YouTube and all these, because they want to sell you courses worth 500 rupees, 600 rupees, because they know the importance of scale. They understand that अगर मैं थोड़ा सा अच्छे से बोल दूंगा तो वो तो खरीद ही लेगा. They exploit this knowledge gap that you have. But at the end of the day, that 500 rupees investment, 1000 rupees investment is not going to give you any insightful knowledge. You're looking at insights here, not facts. Facts are available in abundance. You go to YouTube, you'll find 6-hour courses, 8-hour courses. Why do you want to spend 500 rupees and watch the same thing again? You are filling pockets for people who understand that, how to hit you emotionally. So one of the ways Antwork is solving this problem is by creating an experiential program. You only learn practical problems. First, we orient you through all the important fundamentals of digital marketing from a very basic level, gradually progress it to an intermediate level. And by the time you come at intermediate levels, you would have already solved 2 to 3 assignments. By the way, these are all real assignments coming from real companies, real people. And they will be giving you certain problems which will force you to think and come up with solutions that these guys themselves can use in their problems. Like for example, if you join my island, I will be teaching you digital marketing strategy. I will be giving you a real problem from my existing challenge, from my existing company. What exactly am I faced with? I will give you all the required knowledge and the fundamentals and all those things. But then I will pressurize you. I will kind of force you that, okay, now that I have oriented you with the fundamentals of strategy, how will you apply your own brain, apply your own knowledge, apply your own research, apply your own problem solving skills to tackle this problem? And what output or what kind of outcomes are you expecting by implementing this? So you will, so like my island, you will have 16, I think 13 other islands where you will be forced to solve problems. By the way, when I say forced, I mean it in a very positive way, not in a negative way. Because most of the courses that you currently do online, forget about forcing, they don't even give you assignments. So forget about even forcing. So here, if you don't complete your task, you can't move ahead. And the task will be based on a real life problem. You will have to actually use your brain. Based on that, you will also be able to create an entire portfolio for every module, which you can then send to your recruiters. Your recruiters can actually look at it, check your problem solving skills, understand what made you look at a particular solution and what did that solution, what kind of outcome could that solution create. So that's what the experiential program structure is about. It's not like your regular typical course. It's not like some Udemy ka uthava cut copy paste program from 2014. It's not like a YouTube video telling you ki 56,000 rupees up per month kama sakte ho. It's all, it's like a practical notebook. It's like a complete practical framework. You learn when you do it, and that's when you learn the best. Not when you read, not when you watch videos, not when you do all those things which involve zero sort of involvement practically.
Very well said, Dheeraj. I think this program for folks on the call today, right, has been designed by talking to people like Dheeraj, because they have gone through this journey. Whether it is Dheeraj or whether it is Venkat who came last week, who works at Mo Engage, or Gursimran who works at Geo Savan, we had a conversation with them, say, how can we make a program which will allow this next generation of digital marketers to succeed from day one, right? And the key things that came into the design was, okay, it needs to come from working professionals because they have seen the challenges. Second is it needs to be a live interactive class kind of a module as opposed to recorded videos. And third is there has to be a very, very strong emphasis on real world projects that you guys get your hands dirty on. So based on these three underlying principles, what we have created the 16-week program. Like Dheeraj said, if you guys have the money and you have the made up your mind to get into digital marketing, definitely check out this program. There is a link on the sheet. I also put it on the chat box. Sign up and we will definitely get in touch with you and give you a lot more details. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Dheeraj, let's continue with your Q&A, man. Before we do that, guys, one quick poll just to get everybody up again. Hopefully not many people have gone to sleep. So here's the last poll of the day coming up. What percentage of Facebook's revenue comes from mobile advertising? Alan, we will take up your question. Be patient, man. All right, guys, 4 more seconds. All right, let's see the results. Okay, 41% are saying 60% of the revenue comes from mobile for Facebook, and another 40% are saying 90 plus. So guys, the answer is 90 plus, and Facebook made this transition, or at least focus into mobile ads very soon in the game, and they got a lot of flack at that time. I don't know, Dheeraj, whether you are aware of that. I was in the US when they made this decision. The stock price got a big hit, but then it was a brilliant move because I think most of Facebook consumption is now through mobile.
Online, mobile phones, yes.
Right. Cool. Let's get to some more questions, Dheeraj. I think we have a few more minutes, right?
Yeah.
So Alan has a very tactical question. I think this could be taken further offline, but he's basically trying to run FB campaigns, and his ad has got rejected multiple times because of community guidelines. And he feels it was rejected by automated bots. But it's not. He's tried to reach out to the FB customer support. He wants the guidance to how to even reach to the FB customer support executives.
Okay, Alan, little bit into your face. See, I don't want to demotivate you, but small advertisers, like probably people who are just starting out for the first time, there are some glitches on Facebook which prevent people like us to advertise. Okay, that's number one. So you must have been a target of that, and there is absolutely nothing that you can do instead of just creating a new account, new credit card, and going live, because Facebook customer support is available. The live chat support is available only to advertisers who have been advertising for at least 5 years. Like, there is no other way to contact them. Okay, that is one of the downsides of Facebook advertising also, but there are ways to tackle this problem. First, look at the reason why they have banned your account. In most cases, they give you a reason. My guess is you must have seen a video on YouTube where they were trying to tell you that, hey, advertise this affiliate link. You must have gone ahead and advertised that affiliate link. Very rookie mistake. People do that all the time. I've done it twice, got my account banned with no scope for unlocking it. So I fell into the same trap. Any kind of affiliate link, if you put directly on Facebook has a zero tolerance policy. They will just ban your ad account. They will ban your payment method. If you argue with them too much, if you keep sending them messages, they will ban your personal profile also. So there is no tolerance on affiliate sharing of direct affiliate links. Any kind of affiliate link, if you share on Facebook ad, if you try to run it, they will probably lock you out. Other thing is, sometimes, and in fact many times, they block advertisers for wrong reasons. And in this case, you can go to their whatever conventional ways of reaching out to them. Facebook customer support, they have one link where you can which says support inbox. Write a query on support inbox, see if they come back to you, but it will take good 1 month. If you can wait 1 month, very good. If you cannot wait, simple solution: create a new Facebook account, or use your friend's Facebook account, or use somebody else's Facebook account, and do not repeat the mistake, if any, that you have done last time. Also, if you're on MasterCard or if you're on Visa from India, there are some additional compliances that have been introduced as on April 24th, which involve another set of authentication for auto payments. So you'll have to speak to your bank to allow those auto payments to pass through. Otherwise, that is also one of the reasons why your ads are not working or why your Facebook is not allowing you to run ads. So
And this happened last week, is it? Or April, is it?
April 24th, this decision was taken.
Oh,
now
man.
they have to. Yeah.
I should have talked to you because both my accounts auto payment got stopped.
Yeah. So that happened. So you will have to talk to your bank and you will have to kind of, make some arrangements wherein Facebook can freely access your account without any additional authentication. So some glitches, my friend, it happens for rookie advertisers, new advertisers. It does happen. It has happened with me a lot of times. The best you can do right now is work on from a different account, because there is actually no way of locking yourself out from this uncomfortable situation. It doesn't happen to a lot of people, but it still, if it happens with you, I mean, it's purely luck. And a lot of my, at least 6 of my accounts have been banned for various reasons I don't even know right now. So Facebook ecosystem is still developing in India. There are some problems, and Facebook is looking into it. They are creating a dedicated call center from Delhi and Mumbai. They have been hiring a lot of people from India to look into matters like these, but till we have those things in place, there is nothing we can do except to create a new account and repeat the process all over again.
Got it.
Otherwise, you'll just be wasting time.
So we have one question from Nausheen. I'm a content writer by profession and aspire to learn the art of digital marketing. Although I'm trying to dive into graphic design as well. I'm wondering, does a digital marketer have to necessarily ace at everything that is to marketing, including website development, graphic design, email marketing, etc.?
Okay. No. See, I'll give you a very honest version of this answer. It depends on you also. To a lot of extent, it depends on you also. Like, for example, when I worked in a digital marketing agency, Brandbee and Vigo, Quantify, and a lot of freelance clients, when you are faced with a problem where you don't have any resource available, you're kind of forced to learn how to do that things and go and look at things which are outside your comfort zone. Okay. And that is where the best kind of learning happens. But not all people are comfortable learning coding or comfortable learning things that, are a little bit, are usually very difficult to learn. If you can learn, it's always a plus. If you can't learn, as I said, coding is not mandatory. Web development is not mandatory. Running any kind of things which involve coding or technical stuff, or going beyond your existing qualifications, not really mandatory. But what are the skills which are mandatory? Copywriting, content writing, content creation, visualization, creativity. These are absolutely mandatory, and they will challenge you. They will force you to move out of your comfort zone. And the only way that you can learn it is to first join a program like Antwork, or if you're lucky, join internships from a digital marketing agency, or if you're lucky, get a job there and work for at least 2 years. When you're working in that high paced kind of environment, when you're working with clients who don't have that much of money to afford and spend on different tools and things, the company or the agency expects you to come up with solutions. And that's when you learn all those things which you're talking of right now, which you probably are facing a lot of difficulties with. That's what my opinion is on this.
Last few questions, Dheeraj. Abhishek is asking, hello, sir. My question is, I've completed 3 months internship in digital marketing and I'm doing a job in an IT company as a content writer, but I'm getting bored now. My interest is in designing banners, campaigns, and lead generation, but I'm confused. Kindly, please guide me.
Okay. One of the best things that you can learn right now is creating content on YouTube, Facebook ads, and YouTube ads. Simple. Why am I saying this? Because number one, they're cheap. They're very cheap. Number two, they're effective. They bring in a lot of people who will engage with you. And number three, as I've been saying from the very beginning, if you don't find work, you become the work. You are the brand. You become the company. You make your own channel. You create content. You create videos, you create banners for yourself, anything that you're passionate about. It could be cooking, it could be art, it could be music, it could be anything. Whatever moves you, whatever you feel that you can do all day and you want to share it with the world, you feel that something is going to help somebody's either solve a problem or entertain them or challenge them or evoke any kind of emotion, my friend, you become the brand. And once you do that, once you have some videos, once you have some posts, learn YouTube ads, learn Facebook ads, very cheap, very, very cheap. And when you actually launch an ad for, let's say, even 500 rupees, or let's say even 1000 rupees in a month, I'm saying dead cheap, 500, 1000 rupees per month, you will get hundreds of viewers. You will get hundreds of people who watched your content. Some will write good comments, some will write bad comments. That is when you will understand in its entirety that, okay, if I'm built for this thing or not, whether I truly enjoy working it or not. Because expecting someone to give you work with just 3 months of experience, not going to happen. Expecting someone to come up with like, hey, why don't you manage my ad account when you don't have experience, is not going to happen. So why don't you first work on your own brand, launch ads for yourself, get that word out, and who knows, one day you might get lucky, leads start coming up to you instead of you running to them. And then when that happens, now this is the best place to be, because outbound calls, cold references, cold networking, attending workshops is a tiring process. But when people look at your content, they like it, they love it, they feel that, oh, this guy is talking really well, let me go ahead and talk to him. As I told you, they are in a position of trust. Converting them, getting them on board is a piece of cake. Much simple than the regular old fashioned business development processes that we follow. So try that. Create your own brand, build your own personal brand, create content on LinkedIn, social media, YouTube, whatever. And whatever you do it for yourself, not for anybody else. And then you will understand where your core expertise lies. Otherwise, right now, getting a job without any kind of experience is, I find it to be extremely challenging. This is the best that you can do right now.
On that, right, Swaraj has a question. I think basically his question is, should I do an online digital marketing course now, or should I wait for the COVID situation to ease so that he can
This
go to an
is
offline institute?
This is the best time to learn digital marketing. Best time. There has never been a better time than now. Best time. Why? Everybody is sitting at home. Everybody wants to buy stuff. Everybody is bored of sitting at home. Everybody is praying for their life. They feel that if they go out, they will die. It's such a horrible situation out there. Right now is the time to learn digital marketing. Create something for yourself or for the company that you wish to work for, because the entire world is sitting on their mobile phones, which is your market. Why do you want to learn digital marketing offline when you can learn it from your home and then later contract a disease at the center? And when do you think this disease will get over? I don't think it's going anywhere below 2 years. This is going to stay with us for long. We are a population of 1.2 billion. How much time do you think it will take to inoculate? So if you want to waste that opportunity by waiting and then going to a center, I don't think that is a very wise thing to do. It's digital marketing. The entire premise is working digitally, and you are saying I want to work offline. I see no point in doing that. If you have to learn digital marketing, do it the digital way, na? Isn't that better than risking yourself in a center and then later regretting it?
Got it. Last couple of questions, Dheeraj. Dhananjay wants to know how to get into the PPC domain.
I think I've already answered it. Brand yourself, create campaigns for yourself first. If you don't do it, if you see, no matter which courses you do, no matter which things, what kind of professional programs you get into, any kind of academic or non-academic learning programs, that is unlikely to help you too much if you don't practically apply it in your own brand, in your own self. That's number one. Number two, if you really want to, if you have the time, if you have the energy, if you have the resources, why not apply for digital marketing internships, wherein the most of the time they teach you PPC only. PPC is a very big part of digital marketing internships, because that is what brings tons and tons of results in a short span of time. So my advice, do as many internships as possible in PPC. Go to LinkedIn, find people who are looking for PPC interns. Otherwise, the best way, complete a course like Antwork or whatever course you do, just learn it and then apply it in your own profile. I'm giving you a very practical approach to this problem, because otherwise I have seen people wasting 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. They wait for opportunity when you need to create that opportunity for yourself first. And I have told you from the very beginning, if you don't work, if you don't practically apply whatever little that you are learning, no matter how many marks you get in any course, no matter what is your experience with digital marketing, you will always stay in a very stagnated state of growth. And that is a very uncomfortable position to be.
All right. Last two questions, Dheeraj. Chankit is already practicing some of what you already been preaching so far. So he wants to learn and earn, and he's working on his own platforms. He wants to promote other businesses and brands, and the main focus is social media marketing. How should he think about monetizing this?
One second. So can you repeat the question? Sorry.
Chankit is already working on his own platforms and focusing on social media marketing, and he wants to promote other businesses and brands.
Okay.
So he wants to understand how should he monetize that.
Okay. Ankit, think about this. Let us say I am a businessman and I am looking for people who can help me scale up my digital or whatever digital presence. Number one step to get any kind of opportunity your way is to first think like what position a business is in right now. Let's say if you're talking about a very small business, let's say import export business, or let's say a small e-commerce store, okay, and they have just recently launched and they have the money, but they don't have the resources. So what kind of keywords would they be looking for? What kind of problems would they be searching for? What kind of thoughts will they have in their mind, right? And when you step into their shoes and when you start creating your profile in a way which actually targets those people. So I have seen some people on LinkedIn where they say that I help coaches get hundreds of students in 1 month through digital marketing. Now the niche is very clear. They know that who they want to target, and then they create content on LinkedIn that are exclusively focused on these people. A few months roll by and they start getting leads from LinkedIn itself. So first of all, you cannot expect the entire population to be your target market. It doesn't work that way. First, you ask yourself, which company is my ideal client? Which industry is my ideal client? Where do I want to utilize my skills in? And based on that, you have to create a profile on LinkedIn, or you have to create a profile on Fiverr or on whatever these freelancing platforms that exclusively targets these people. Use the same kind of language, use the same kind of problems, use the same kind of keywords, create content that these people will find useful. Be patient, but be consistent. And I can give you another approach to this. Let's say you are very consistent in creating this content, you are very consistent in creating your profile, and you are getting some good results, good engagement, but you're not getting leads. Now that you are in a position to actually pitch, you have a lot of content on your social media channels, you have a lot of numbers to show, you have a lot of different things that you can talk about. I can assure you that anywhere you connect, the person is more likely to stay connected with you, and in fact ask you, hey, I saw your profile, it's good, and I was also looking out for a person like this. I really like your content. Would you like to help me? Can we go on a consultant? Can we go on a 15 minutes call? And that is the place where you want to be. Thinking about, hey, I know this stuff, I want to reach out to people, and then you start cold calling them, cold emailing them, sending requests on LinkedIn, when you don't have anything on your profile, when you don't have any content, no videos, no proper profile summary, no experience, nothing, and expecting people to come and give you work, doesn't happen that way, my friend. You ask yourself, would I give work to somebody like you? Would I give work to somebody like myself in my current state? 99% of the times that answer will be no. So you know how to start. You just need to start, get into that position of expertise, get into that position of authority, and then network with people who can become your clients. It takes 1 year, it takes 6 months. I don't know how much time it takes, but it takes time. It doesn't work overnight. It doesn't work in 1 week or 2 weeks. It's a consistent process and it works.
Got it. Last question. So I think Priya has a follow-up question. I think so. I think in the earlier part of the discussion, Dheeraj, we had said that as a digital marketer, experience in electrical engineering or so on will not actually have too much value, right? So her question is, because she is actively thinking of moving into digital marketing, and if you're saying that it won't help her much in job and career growth, so should she stop thinking about making this transition, or what should she do?
Understand what your goals are. If your goal is just to get a job, and no matter how hard you try, you are not able to get a job, ask yourself, did the knowledge that I acquired, did it go waste? Most of the time you will say no, it did not go waste. We think like this when we feel that whatever knowledge that we have acquired has gone waste, and that is when we hesitate to take the plunge, or when we kind of hesitate to transition from one role to another, right? So first of all, you have to do this introspection sort of exercise, and you have to really ask, the knowledge that I have acquired, is it sufficient to work on an actual use case? Many times you will say no. Okay, then you ask, what else can I do? So one prospective solution to this is, I can work for some people for free. Everybody likes free, right? That's the biggest way you can get that kind of experience. Are you ready to take that risk? If the answer is no, because my family is dependent on me and I have to work to get money and to feed them, then stop and then postpone this plan to a time where you have enough savings to make the transition. If you don't have enough savings and you are taking this risk, it's a big risk. So you need to have a minimum amount of practical experience, at least working on a real brand, solving a real problem, producing a real result, then positioning yourself as a thought leader on LinkedIn, then maybe go one step forward and position yourself as an expert on YouTube. And once you have an audience base, once you have a fan following, or once you have networks and connections and people who believe in your skill, who trust that you can get the job done, make the plunge. Making the plunge when you don't have resources, when you don't have money, you're relying, other people are relying on your savings, and you want to take this risk, then it can work either way. You can become successful or you can fail. It can all go tumbling down. So whatever you do, introspect, ask yourself this question, get enough experience, get into that stage, and then make the jump. Otherwise, if you have the time, if you have the money, if people are not dependent on you, take the jump as soon as possible.
Perfect. I think that's a good way to come to a close on this session. Guys, I have seen only 50% of you guys have taken the feedback poll. Please just take a few seconds to finish the poll. It will help us make the future sessions, upcoming sessions, bake in your feedback and make them better. So request you all to take the poll. In the meanwhile, Dheeraj, wonderful session. We had a lot of questions today. I think a lot of insightful answers from you. Extremely grateful for you to come back on the session.
Thank you.
And folks, please put a thumbs up or a thanks for Dheeraj on the chat box. And I think he deserves a big applause for taking out a weekend time, more than an hour. We went way beyond the allotted time. So let's thank him, please. And we will have the next round of sessions. We have two interesting sessions coming up. One is on Friday by Bhavya Patak, who's a product marketing manager at Color Tokens. She will be talking about the impact, the need for brand and storytelling in all your campaigns. And we have one from Deepashri Das coming on Saturday. She works at Netflix, and she will be talking on the evolution of content marketing and how you should tap into the new elements of content marketing, whether it's memes or polls and so on. So be sure to sign up, and we will see you next week again. In the meanwhile, have a good weekend. to everybody on the call. And thanks again, Dheeraj, for the time.
No problem. Looking forward to one more.
Yes, definitely we'll have it. All right, guys. And for folks who are interested on the 16-week program, it's starting in the end of May. Do sign up for the link on the link in the chat box. Definitely, it will be worth it if you can see the quality of experts you're bringing on the platform. So if you're serious about a career in digital marketing, you want to get yourself upskilled from the best experts, definitely check out Antwalk and sign up. All right, guys. Thank you. Have a good Sunday.
All right. Bye, guys. Thank you so much.